interaction between Jay-Z and Rihanna, it wasn't given tea. Everybody's like, oh, I'm happy he brought her out. I'm happy he brought her out. Rihanna looked like she don't really rock with Jay-Z like that. And you could tell off energy. If you good at reading energy, the energy was off. The hugs was off. The smacking of the hands was off. I think she really only came because she probably was obligated to be there due to her contract.
And Jay-Z, honestly, you could have just said you was late because Rihanna ass wasn't here on time. Like, I feel like all would have been forgiven in the beginning. You didn't have to come out and, oh, we was just making sure everybody was okay. No, Rihanna was late.
All right, you guys, something unexpected went down at Yankee Stadium last night, and now fans are analyzing every second of it. Rihanna made a surprise appearance during Jay-Z's concert, instantly turning what was already a major event into one of the biggest talking points online. The moment she stepped out, the energy inside the stadium completely shifted. The crowd was excited, people pulled out their phones, and clips from the appearance quickly started spreading across social media. But instead of the conversation staying focused on Rihanna's performance or the excitement of seeing her reunite with Jay-Z on such a massive stage, fans quickly became interested in something else. A lot of attention started shifting toward the interaction between Rihanna and Jay-Z themselves. Viewers began studying their body language, facial expressions, and the way they communicated during the performance, wondering whether everything between them felt as natural as people expected. Before long, short clips were being replayed again and again from different angles. Some fans focused on Rihanna's reactions, while others paid close attention to Jay-Z's energy whenever the two shared the stage. Certain viewers felt the moment looked completely normal and believed people were simply reading too much into a brief concert interaction. But others said there appeared to be a slight distance or tension that was difficult to ignore once they noticed it. Of course, a few seconds from a live performance do not always tell the full story. Concerts move quickly. Artists are focused on timing, music, cameras, and the crowd, so every expression does not necessarily have a deeper meaning. Still, that has not stopped people online from slowing down the footage, comparing different moments, and debating whether something about their interaction felt slightly unusual.
11 o'clock, this show would have been over. I got outside at 8:40 fucking 5. I just got in this motherfucker. One gate, one person at a time, 20,000 other people behind me. This fucking show ain't starting till 12:30, 1 o'clock.
And now, what began as an exciting surprise appearance has turned into a much bigger conversation. Instead of only asking how Rihanna sounded or whether fans could expect more performances from her, people are questioning the energy between two artists with a long history together. The more the clips circulate, the more viewers seem determined to figure out whether they witnessed an ordinary stage moment or whether there was something beneath the surface that most people missed the first time. Now, before we get too deep into the interaction between Rihanna and Jay-Z and why so many people felt there may have been something unusual about the energy on stage, let me quickly catch you guys up on what was actually happening that night. Because this was not just another regular Jay-Z concert. The entire event had been built around a major milestone in his career, and expectations were already extremely high long before Rihanna made her surprise appearance. Jay-Z had been celebrating the 30th anniversary of his career with a special 3-night run at Yankee Stadium. Each night was designed to highlight a different chapter of his musical journey, giving longtime fans an opportunity to revisit some of the projects and moments that helped shape his legacy. Rather than performing the same set every evening, the shows were organized around different eras, making each concert feel like its own experience.
Bum rushed. Gate 2. Bum rushed. People went past security, were not checked, and got into the stadium. They closed down Gate 2. We went to Gate 4. Same thing happened. I don't appreciate the unprofessionalism from Yankee Stadium staff. They were doubting us and they were laughing at us.
The first night focused heavily on Reasonable Doubt, the album that introduced Jay-Z to a much wider audience and eventually became one of the most respected projects in his catalog. For longtime listeners, that show was built around nostalgia in the early stage of his career, bringing attention back to the sound, storytelling, and ambition that defined his introduction to the industry. The second night shifted the focus toward The Blueprint, another major project that became an important part of Jay-Z's career. That evening celebrated a different era and gave fans the chance to hear music connected to one of his most recognizable albums. By that point, people were already sharing clips online and discussing how the 3-night event felt less like a standard concert and more like a full career retrospective. Then came the final night, which was titled Extra Innings. Unlike the first two shows, this one was not centered around only one album. Instead, it was presented as a celebration of Jay-Z's entire catalog, bringing together music from different periods of his career. Because the final show covered such a wide range of material, fans expected bigger surprises, unexpected collaborations, and appearances from artists who had played an important role throughout his career. That anticipation only grew as people arrived at Yankee Stadium. Many fans believed the final night would be the biggest show of the entire run, especially because nobody knew exactly who might appear or what songs could be added to the set. With 3 decades of music to choose from, almost anything seemed possible. However, the night did not exactly start the way organizers had planned. Instead of starting on schedule, the concert reportedly faced a delay that lasted close to 4 hours. As the wait continued, confusion began spreading throughout the crowd. People inside the stadium were wondering why the show had not started, while fans online were trying to understand what was causing such a major delay. According to reports surrounding the event, a large number of people without tickets had gathered near the entrance and attempted to push their way toward the stadium. With thousands of concert-goers already arriving for the show, the situation around the entry points reportedly became difficult for security to manage. As a result, officials temporarily restricted access and focused on bringing the area back under control. At that point, the priority was making sure the crowd remained organized and that everyone both inside and outside the stadium could move safely. Organizers reportedly did not want the concert to begin until they were confident the entrance situation had been handled and the venue was secure. Even though the delay was frustrating for fans who had been waiting for hours, starting a performance while there was still confusion outside could have created even more problems. So, the audience had no choice but to wait. As time passed, people became increasingly impatient, and the atmosphere reportedly shifted between excitement, frustration, and uncertainty. Some fans had traveled long distances to attend the final show, while others had been expecting a carefully planned celebration of Jay-Z's career. A 4-hour delay was definitely not how anyone imagined the night beginning.
Delayed to you guys. It was like 10,000 people outside, and they closed all the doors. Somebody rushed the door, and they closed the door for you guys' safety and everybody's safety outside. It was 10,000 people outside. I don't want to start music and people get trampled. So I know, really sorry for the inconvenience, but I had to make sure everybody...
But once the situation was brought under control and the concert was finally able to move forward, the energy inside Yankee Stadium quickly started building again. After waiting for so long, the crowd was ready for something memorable. And because this was the final night of the anniversary run, expectations were even higher than before. Then, the surprise appearances began, and Rihanna eventually stepped onto the stage. That moment immediately became one of the biggest highlights of the night. But as more footage started appearing online, fans were no longer talking only about the performance. They began paying closer attention to the interaction between Rihanna and Jay-Z, and that was when people started asking whether everything between them was really as comfortable as it first appeared. Now, Jay-Z clearly understood that the crowd had been waiting much longer than expected, so once he finally made his way onto the stage, he took a moment to acknowledge the delay and apologize directly to everyone inside Yankee Stadium. After nearly 4 hours of uncertainty, fans had been waiting to hear some kind of explanation, and Jay-Z appeared to recognize that the situation had affected the entire atmosphere surrounding the show. But once the concert officially got underway, the mood inside the stadium quickly began to change. The frustration from the long delay slowly faded as Jay-Z moved through his catalog and started bringing out one surprise guest after another. Since this was the final night of the anniversary celebration, fans were already expecting the show to be bigger than the previous two. But even then, many people were not prepared for the number of major artists who would eventually step onto the stage. One of the first major surprises came when Usher appeared. His arrival immediately brought another level of excitement to the show, especially because fans understood how rare it was to see so many established artists sharing one stage during the same event. The audience had already waited for hours, but moments like that quickly reminded people why the final night had received so much attention in the first place. Then Pharrell joined the celebration, adding another important connection to Jay-Z's career.
Stage last night for the first time in over 2 years and said something that gave me hope that she's going to return again in the near future. So Jay-Z is playing a series of concerts celebrating his 30th anniversary, and as a part of them, he's been bringing out loads of special guests. He's brought out people like Eminem, Clips, and of course Beyonce, and last night, Rihanna. This is a big deal, obviously, because Rihanna has not released an album since 2016. She hasn't been on stage since 2024, when she basically played for a billionaire. The year before that, she did the Super Bowl. So this is a very rare appearance.
The two have worked together on several memorable records over the years, so seeing Pharrell appear during the concert honoring 3 decades of Jay-Z's music felt fitting. It was not simply another random guest appearance. It represented another chapter of the collaborations and relationships that helped shape Jay-Z's catalog. Jay-Z also made an appearance, bringing a completely different energy to the stadium. By that point, it became clear that the show was designed to move through multiple eras and styles rather than remain focused on one specific period. Every new guest gave the audience another unexpected moment, and fans began wondering who else might be waiting backstage. Teyana Taylor later stepped onto the stage as well, adding even more excitement to an already packed lineup. The concert had quickly transformed into something much larger than a typical anniversary performance. It felt like a celebration, not only of Jay-Z's music, but also of the many artists, collaborations, and cultural moments connected to his career. And then, Beyonce appeared.
And she did Run This Town, and then she did Bitch Better Have My Money. But she said this during the performance, and it gave me hope that she wants to get back on stage soon. Obviously, every single year there's a rumor that Rihanna is going to come back, and she's never, ever satisfied those rumors, but maybe she's back on stage. She's clearly enjoying being back on stage. Could be a sign that Rihanna is going to return soon. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but this is very cool. Let me know if you were there and what you thought of it.
As expected, the crowd reacted immediately. Her presence became one of the biggest moments of the night, and she delivered a powerful performance that had the entire stadium fully engaged. After the difficult beginning and the extended delay, the concert had completely changed direction. Fans who had spent hours waiting were now watching some of the biggest names in music appear one after another. At that point, it seemed like the surprises could not get much bigger. The audience had already seen Usher, Pharrell, Jay-Z, Teyana Taylor, and Beyonce. But then, without much warning, another familiar figure began walking onto the stage. It was Rihanna. Her appearance seemed to catch a large part of the audience completely off guard. There had not been much indication that she would be involved in the concert, so when fans realized who was stepping onto the stage, the reaction inside Yankee Stadium became even louder. Phones immediately went into the air. People started recording, and within minutes, clips of the moment were already beginning to spread online. And this was a major moment for a very specific reason. Rihanna has not been performing live very often in recent years. Fans have continued following her music, businesses, public appearances, and family life, but opportunities to see her return to a concert stage have been extremely limited. According to reports surrounding the appearance, this marked her first live performance in more than 2 years. That made the surprise feel much bigger than a normal guest appearance. For many people in the stadium, simply seeing Rihanna perform again was enough to become the highlight of the entire night. The audience had no idea she was coming, and after such a long period without a full live appearance, the excitement was immediate. Rihanna then joined Jay-Z for Run This Town, one of the biggest and most recognizable songs they have worked on together. The record has remained closely connected to both artists since its release, so it made sense that they would choose it for a career-spanning celebration like this.
Free Rihanna from her contract, and free Rihanna from whatever that's holding her back from making music, because we need a new album, Rihanna. I don't know, there's something going on with Roc Nation that's not really being told for real, and I think Jay-Z is the center of it all. Low-key, Jay-Z was just in Epstein files, and all of a sudden he throwing all these concerts and all this stuff just to get y'all minds off him being in them Epstein files.
As soon as the opening moments began, the crowd recognized the song and reacted instantly. For longtime fans, The performance carried a strong sense of nostalgia. Jay-Z and Rihanna have shared several major musical moments throughout their careers, and seeing them perform the record together again brought back memories of an earlier era. On the surface, everything appeared to be set up as a major reunion. A packed stadium, a career anniversary, one of their biggest collaborations, and Rihanna returning to the stage after more than 2 years. But once the excitement settled and videos began circulating online, some viewers started paying attention to details beyond the music. Instead of focusing only on Rihanna's return or the crowd's reaction, people began closely watching the way she and Jay-Z interacted during the performance. And according to some fans, that was where the energy started to feel a little more complicated. Rihanna then stayed on stage and moved into another one of her biggest records, Bitch Better Have My Money. Before beginning the song, she took a moment to speak directly to the crowd and joked that she might be a little rusty because it had been such a long time since she had performed live. The comment immediately got a reaction from the audience because fans already understood how rare this appearance was. But once the music started, Rihanna quickly settled back into performance mode. Despite joking about being out of practice, everything appeared to go smoothly. She looked comfortable in front of the massive crowd, delivered the energy fans expected, and reminded everyone why her return to the stage had become such a major moment. After more than 2 years without a live performance, many viewers were simply excited to see her performing again. However, once clips from the concert began spreading across social media, the conversation slowly moved in a different direction. Instead of focusing only on Rihanna's performance, her vocals, or the excitement surrounding her return, some fans started paying much closer attention to the way she interacted with Jay-Z. People began slowing down the footage, replaying the same moments from multiple angles, and studying details that may have gone unnoticed during the live show.
But y'all love reminding us about Nicki and her fake coke rants because Nicki is not on drugs. And the fact that she's a Trump supporter when this guy is a Trump supporter. He's a Republican supporter, but he's going to act like he's not. Majority of the celebrities are Trump supporters. They're going to act like they're not, though. For the masses, for y'all. It's all an act. But yeah, if you watch this performance, the energy was not given. Shout out to Rihanna. She did a good job, but I can tell she do not rock with Jay-Z like that.
Viewers were analyzing their facial expressions, body language, and the way they acknowledged one another throughout the appearance. Even the brief moment before Rihanna and Jay-Z went their separate ways became part of the discussion. Some fans believe everything looked completely normal between two longtime collaborators finishing a performance, while others felt there was a slight awkwardness that was difficult to ignore. One moment that received particular attention was the hug Rihanna gave Jay-Z after they finished performing together. Some viewers described the interaction as quick or slightly distant and questioned whether Rihanna appeared fully comfortable. Other fans pushed back, saying people were reading far too much into a brief exchange at the end of a live performance. Then, another clip began circulating that showed Rihanna appearing to reach toward Jay-Z for what some viewers interpreted as a handshake. Jay-Z instead moved in for a hug, creating a short moment that fans immediately began analyzing. To some people, it looked like nothing more than two artists briefly misunderstanding how the other person planned to say goodbye. But to others, they believe the interaction seemed slightly awkward because their movements did not appear completely in sync. Of course, body language analysis based on a few seconds of concert footage can be extremely subjective. Rihanna had just completed her first live performance in years. Jay-Z was managing a massive anniversary show, and both artists were surrounded by music, cameras, stage cues, and thousands of fans. A quick interaction in that environment may not reveal anything deeper at all. Still, the reason people became so interested in these small moments is because Rihanna and Jay-Z share a long history. For anyone unfamiliar with their connection, Jay-Z was one of the first major figures in the music industry to support Rihanna during the earliest stages of her career.
And then Beyonce in the back reading the comments, they over here talking about she looked like Mama Tina. All of a sudden she want to come outside with Beyonce and the dancers. Now I gotta go get my rent money to the LA concert. Cause here I am at 3 o'clock in the morning jamming to a fucking TikTok live. Blue, get your clients together.
Long before Rihanna became the global superstar and business figure people know today, Jay-Z played an important role in helping introduce her to a much larger audience. Their professional relationship goes back nearly 2 decades, and they later collaborated on several major records that became important parts of both of their careers. Because of that history, fans expected their reunion to feel especially warm and familiar. So when a few viewers believed the interaction looked slightly reserved, those brief moments quickly became the center of a much larger conversation. But to understand why people are reading so deeply into their body language now, you first have to understand how Rihanna and Jay-Z's professional relationship began and why their history has been discussed for so many years. Now, Rihanna and Jay-Z have worked together for many years, and their professional history goes back to the earliest stages of Rihanna's career. They have shared major records, important career moments, award show stages, and performances that helped define an entire era of music. Because of that long history, it is understandable why fans paid so much attention to their reunion at Yankee Stadium. But in my personal opinion, do I believe there was something strange going on between Rihanna and Jay-Z during this performance? No, I really don't. From what I saw, I think some people may be reading too deeply into a few seconds of body language. When a short clip starts gaining attention online, every movement suddenly becomes part of a bigger theory. A quick hug gets analyzed from several different angles. A missed handshake becomes a sign of possible tension. Even a facial expression captured for only a second can turn into an entire conversation. But sometimes a brief interaction is simply a brief interaction. Rihanna had just returned to the stage for her first live performance in more than 2 years. Jay-Z was in the middle of a massive anniversary concert that had already experienced a long delay and included multiple surprise guests. Both of them had music, stage directions, cameras, and thousands of people demanding their attention. Under those circumstances, it would not be unusual for one small interaction to look slightly awkward from a certain camera angle. And there is another detail that makes me question the idea that Rihanna was uncomfortable or did not want to be there. After finishing her performance, Rihanna did not immediately leave the stadium. She stayed in the crowd with her partner, A$AP Rocky, and continued enjoying the rest of the concert. She appeared relaxed, watched the show, and remained there after her own part of the night was already finished. To me, that matters.
Rihanna slipping up and saying, I missed this shit, y'all, at the Jay-Z concert. Okay, well then let's get into the studio. Well, Lotto say, bitch, get in the booth. And see, I'm dead the fuck serious. I know every time somebody utter R9 read, you like, I don't even want to hear it. She probably, at this point, doesn't even, R9, we might have to kiss goodbye, y'all. I'm sorry. But if you missed this shit, Rihanna, the fans been missed this shit. The Navy been missed this shit. Come back. We're here. And we're ready.
If Rihanna truly felt uncomfortable being there, or if there were serious unresolved issues behind the scenes, she had the option to complete her performance and leave. She could have walked off stage, finished her responsibilities, and moved on with the rest of her evening. Instead, she stayed and continued supporting the event alongside A$AP Rocky. Of course, staying at the concert does not automatically prove what anyone was thinking or feeling. None of us knows what private conversations may or may not have happened, and a few videos cannot tell us everything about a relationship that has existed for nearly 2 decades. But based only on the footage that is publicly available, I do not see enough evidence to conclude that there was any serious tension between Rihanna and Jay-Z. Their goodbye may have looked slightly out of sync for a moment, but that does not necessarily mean there was a deeper issue behind it. Personally, I think fans were excited to see Rihanna performing again, and because the appearance was such a major surprise, people began analyzing every detail. Once one person suggested that the hug looked awkward, more viewers returned to the footage looking for signs that something was wrong. And when people watch a clip already expecting to find tension, even ordinary interactions can begin to look suspicious. Still, everybody interprets body language differently, so I want to hear what you guys think. Do you believe people are reading too much into Rihanna and Jay-Z's interaction? Or did you notice something in their body language that genuinely seemed unusual? Do you think their reunion looked completely normal considering the fast-moving concert environment, or do you believe Rihanna stayed for the rest of the show simply to avoid adding more attention to the speculation? Let me know your opinion in the comments below because I want to see where everyone stands on this. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next story. Share this video with someone who has been following the conversation and see whether they notice the same details. That is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching until the end, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.